What's up, guys? What's up? AB in the house, and look at all these beautiful people in the house as well. How are we doing, guys? Thank you all for attending, and thank you all for waiting. I got a nice cup of mint tea over here. Whew, what a day. Let me read these comments first. Luna, how are you? Leah, how are you doing, my friend? Adrian and Jeffrey, I replied to you earlier. Mr. Panulo, how are you doing, my friend? And oh wow, look, Al's in the house. Hola. Mr. Jefferson, yo, what's good? Buying in tomorrow after Emperor Powell's speak and tanks to market some more. We're gonna talk about that. Mrs. Chase, how are you doing? Good evening, AB. Let's crash. You know what I was doing with that title? I was like, crash, baby. Pressure, push it down on me. Mrs. Tahiti, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for being here. Adrian, that's just barbecue sauce for your incoming attendees, Luna. I'm glad, Adrian. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you guys are here with me as well today. Mr. McCown, the legend, is in the house. How's everybody doing? How are you, brother? Okay, so let's get this thing started first. Well, today I had a fun experience uh, in my in my appointments. Many of them were, stuff that's just kind of like practical things because they're trying to get me going in and see what's going on. But the one that stuck out really was they did this. I think it's called a weird ultrasound. Yeah, it's a weird ultrasound. So what they do is they put this like weird gel on the area that they want to, take pictures of. They put that and they lace it on you, and it's like so cold. It's just weird. It's literally like it looks just like hair gel. It's just very clear, and apparently that gel makes it clearer for that machine to see through. I guess the cells and all that stuff. So I'll see things of that nature of what comes off of that by tomorrow, hopefully. Um, I've seen some more beautiful people in here. Mr. Martin, how are you, my friend? And Sanjay, wow. Welcome in here, my friend. It's been a minute. You've been missed, brother. Welcome. Glad to see you in here. Ta, 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 ta. Yes, Jeffrey, red box printing. Brrr. Good job. It's so crazy how, like, just like over a month ago, I look at the overall, like, my own technical analysis on the chart without any of these indicators and stuff, and I was able to call, like, that it was goes specifically to 18 and above. And it's not necessarily over. I understand, for the time being 30% off, but who knows? At the end of the day, these things are set up like traps, so if you make money on them, good for you. This is why yesterday I said that you guys remember my red box little rant thing, and I said that, I'm going to be out, and I did leave, obviously, yesterday. I mentioned that, but only because I was up in my position in AMC and GME with the profits. I wasn't looking at Redbox as like the same view of AMC and GME, or even any of my other meme stocks, honestly. So we're in a very good place. One thing I've been noticing, guys, and you guys feel free to go look at it, is the daily volume have been falling tremendously. Like, when you have 25, today we ended up, I think, on 25 million. And when I looked at Fintel, about 57% of that was routed over through the dark pool. You're like, wow, that means we got well, forget the math right now. It's all over the place. But that means we got like basically 50% of that 25 million is basically going through the dark pool, while privately, while the real float, or the publicly traded company, is basically trading less than 50% of its float on a daily basis. Been like that for over a year. Publicly, which again is never going to make sense. We also saw Mr. Biden today speak on our favorite, economy, and we saw nothing different. It was the same old crap of blaming other parties. Oh, the Republicans wants to do this. They want to take away this. They want to take away Social Security benefits every 5 years. And all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm doing my thing. I see the inflation, and they're not letting me carry out my plan, and they're doing their best. And it's like, no, come on. Like this is nonsense. Again, there's nothing that at that moment we could do anything about, but that helped in that sense. Now I got a special thing for you guys, but let me just read some comments real quick so that I can always stay up with you guys. Pokes, how are you, my friend? I bought some calls with some extra cash. Let's see. Well, hopefully they print for you, my friend. Mrs. Gloria, how are you doing? And Christy, wow, such a lovely encounter. It's been a minute. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for coming by. Now the family or the table is complete. Time to do this. Tuning in the meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Standard Time. Yes, that's the Judgment Day tomorrow. My friend got out a red box to buy 2 and brought more GME. Yes, I mean, again, everybody has a different plan, so it's there's no right or wrong on like what is the right way or what was wrong and what, whatever you do. The last thing anybody wants to do is go down with the ship, because this is trading. There's no honorable mentions here, or honor, any of that. It's all about obviously making your money and being in a good position, because if you're down and you're done, what help or what good are you, to yourself and to the community? So do your thing. As you guys can see, the mint leaves are sticking out. Put so much mint in here. I'm gonna start farming, and I already have a nice garden, but I'm gonna start actually farming mint and in these times and benefit with that, so that we don't run out of mint supply. Another thing I want everybody to think about: we see the price going down, right? With AMC, it's been like that. Nothing's been different. Or GME. You know how the media, and this is specifically for the people who still have some doubt or change of heart. And again, I'm not influencing anybody on anything, but we see all this talk nonstop. AMC is dead. It's not worth anything. GME is lucky, and whatever it did, it's not worth whatever. The only question or the only data you got to look at is look at the institutional ownerships. Since they are pumping this stuff to us, to retail, this negative media and all this FUD to believe, why aren't the institutions buying this crap? Because as far as I look, their institutional ownership on any of those 2 stocks or some of the other meme stocks are more. There's more of them adding and holding than people that are selling and getting out of it. So if I was to see, for example, if hypothetically speaking, if institutional ownership is 100% pie, if we're just looking at institutional ownership, forget retail for a second, and out of all the institutional ownership, if we look at how many out of all of them have left or sold their positions, because again, fear of the stock market falling and the fact that these two stocks are not worth anything, so you want to consolidate your money, because that's the narrative they're spinning over to you and me, right? Sell all that and sit on your cash. This is we're going into a catastrophe of a recession, most likely even a depression like the early 1900s. And I don't know what you're going to do with your money. Hedge with it in crypto. Well, we saw what happened with that. So no more crypto hedging. Take your money out and put it in blue chip stocks. Well, what are we seeing? Blue chip stocks are taking bigger dumps than AMC and GME. Don't believe it? The price is right in front of you. Look at it. So why aren't those people selling AMC and GME, the institutions? They see the articles. They seem to know and understand what the narrative that the media is trying to push. Why are they not, falling for it? Normally, institutions, if there's danger, they're the first ones out because nobody hears about it because, they want to take care of themselves. Where's that? I don't see the danger. I see them add into their positions. The last report came out on May 31st, I think, and I think by the end of this week or the beginning of next week, we're going to get the next report. And unless I see a whole page all red, that is nothing. And we see a lot of green and a lot of adding. Then what's so serious? Why so serious? What is not worth it about this play that retail don't see and institutions don't see, that somehow a newspaper or some article, magazine, whatever, sees? What does Benzinga or Reuters see that we don't? Either institution or retail. Looks like we're all it looks like Reuters is trying to play everybody in the system, right? So that's a pretty like back out moment, back off, zoom out and view it from far away and see what makes sense. So, sometimes if you don't want to just dive into all the numbers and short interest and all this stuff, most of these things. But if you don't want to dive into all that stuff, you just look at it this way. When it comes down to survival of the fittest style of thinking, I want to survive. Institutions, I'm pretty sure they think the same. Everybody naturally, by nature, thinks like that or approaches situations like that in life. So if they see that this is going to bring the death of them because they're way more leveraged on it than we are. So if I'm happy with my 10,000 or 12,000 shares or what the case is, what do you think these institutions are holding? These institutions are holding millions of shares, some of them, like Vanguard, BlackRock, and all those. So if this was to go to 50 cents or to $1, as they say, or bankrupt completely, then who would lose more here? The guy with 12,000 shares or the guy with millions and millions of shares? And I understand 12,000 to me could be everything or 90% of my wealth, while 4 million or 34 million shares for Vanguard or BlackRock is like not that big of a deal for them, even though it's huge, but a loss is a loss. And if they're going to approach situations based on, oh, this is not such a huge loss, let's go into it, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in today on top of the pyramid. So summing things up and making long story short, based on that mental thinking and analysis, if they don't see any danger because their transactions are showing so, I believe the money. Talk is BS. Transactions, that's the real intent. So when I see these guys are adding more to their positions and they're still in these plays, what do I have to worry about? It's clearly the institutions and the overwhelming powerful houses see a lot in this play or these plays. So therefore, I need to see a lot in this play too. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Okay, let's read a little bit here real quick so I can stay up to date with everyone. I'm so excited. I see, Christy, Sanjay, and Mr. McCown in here. This just literally made my day, even through all the hospital stuff today that I had to deal with and all that stuff. This definitely made my day. Kim, how are you, my friend? Could you imagine like that puff that just came out if a genie came out? What would you like? You have 3 wishes. AMC, ripping. Frankie Mohammed, how are you, brother? Aki, welcome in here. Nice to see you. I love the videos you recently posted, brother. Tail dog. There we go. Jeffrey, you got some beautiful chords in here. That singing was on fire. Jeffrey and Pam, I and Adrian and a few other wonderful apes actually been holding some karaoke sessions lately. Not to put us all on blast, but on the Discord, and it's been lit. I like the collaboration that you and I, Jeffrey, did yesterday. Not much of a sound, but hey, we tried. Man, can you guys believe it's literally 98 degrees here in Ohio with a humidity level through the roof? Okay, let's see. Where am I at? You guys are rolling on me fast. Adrian, yes, I can do smoke tricks. That's just blow circles or blow O's. Now, back in my youngin' days, I was able to do a Gandalf and just blow out a ship. I'll leave that up to your imaginations to believe. You could go ahead and start taking bets in between the community. Who thinks AB can blow out a ship or who can't? But I believe you as well. It is many tens of trillions from all companies traded throughout the years. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got through the. Yeah, we tried to do the Aerosmith Dream On. Could you believe it? I, guys, honestly, you will only appreciate some artists and realize how great they are and how almost unbelievable it is or impossible it is to replicate their tunes only when you try to do a karaoke on their song. Because when you're listening to it in your head, you can hear their voice and you kind of can replicate it in your head. But when you try to do it and the way they hit those notes, high pitch and everything, oh my God. Some artists are just on a different planet. Aerosmith is one of them. I think Jeff would agree on that one. Pabloco, what's up, brother? Okay, so we're also anticipating tomorrow's, announcement, as Christy said in the chat. We're anticipating them to go ahead and you and that pickle, Adrian. We're anticipating them to go ahead and announce whether there's going to be 75 points, whether it's going to be higher than that. We'll see. Mr. Biden says that he's acknowledging the inflation danger levels today in his talk. It is safe to say that we're not going to see anything being done about it, except we'll see what happens tomorrow. This is just looking back at the pattern that what the officials have done to tame inflation. In fact, they were able to throw gasoline on the thing so that they could become higher and higher. Mr. Nickel, how are you doing, my friend? Let's see. What do we have besides the short flow that we've been having as of late, especially? I mean, again, AMC, here's the thing, guys. Here's how I see it. Stocks like Sundial, for example, and let's just look at it real quick. Stocks like Sundial that are obviously, penny stocks that are very, very low right now. As you can see, it's 29 cents. It closed 29 cents and 40. Well, I can't 29 cents and 40 cents. No, 29.40 cents. And when you see that the volume on a stock like that on the day was 62 million, that is mighty low. Because stocks like that, since it's very cheap, the volume is much higher. You could see Sundial in 100 million easy on any given day, and that's not very bullish. That's in fact to be expected because it's very cheap, more volume, more people, more volatile, more people can buy them. But when you see that 62 million, what is that? Now take that same thinking or that idea and look at AMC and GME. When you look at GME, for example, you see that on a whole day, it was traded to 3 million on the volume. And when you see that, you look, well, why is that? Well, maybe because it's over $100. But that is, even then, it is still very, 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 very low. And still 3 million, while over 50% of that is going through the dark pool as well. Wow. You also go ahead and look at AMC now, and you see on the whole day, as I mentioned earlier, we did about 25 million, 25 and a half. And when you see that, you're like, okay, wow, well, EMC used to easily do 50, 60 million a day in just in volume. And out of that 25 million, you got, again, 57% of it roughly going through the dark pool. There is no money. Literally, there is no money. The only person or the only entity that has been given money since day one, I would like to keep saying this because I want it to stick in people's heads. The only entity that has been given them money or, offering the money is, sorry, let me look at this number because I'm going to give you guys the number, is the Feds. The Feds is what's the only thing. It's like a life support machine that this, since the beginning of this play, the whole entire stock market has been on it. Today we had 2.223 trillion. I believe it's down a couple of $1 billion. That's it, not much from yesterday. We had 97 counterparties. Again, guys, we have all this repo and reverse repo, yet the liquidity in the market, I mean, it's supposed to be for liquidity, right? Is like crap everywhere. Whether you're looking at it from the stock market perspective, or you look at it from the real estate and the housing perspective, everything. You got student loans and the loans issues and all that stuff, and clearly constantly as far as the student loan issues, which is. We will see what will happen, but from the looks of it, there's no bailout for that unless it's being postponed until midterms or midterms, and somebody will drop a perfect bomb then, so maybe their likability within the nation could be great, so they could get voted in again. Who knows? Maybe, but we'll see. We're going to meet that towards the end of this year. That's when it comes on. Don't be surprised if you see, oh, we're going to cancel on people who make less than 140,000 a year, and if they have student loans, we're going to give them $10,000 or $20,000 break off of that. But when will that come? If it comes toward the end of the year, just know that the whole intent was from the get-go for the favor of getting elected. Which, at the end of the day, when you think on it on a big picture, you're like, well, who they're literally like, just to get elected, they're sacrificing so many people's lives in the pursuit of doing so. I mean, we're approaching, guys, I know that finally now the talk of recession have set in to everybody's minds. And when people keep comparing 2008 or the dot-com era recessions to, or not even like recessions, like breakdowns to this, what we're going through, you are on the right footsteps, but you're not there yet. You will only see the only thing that is close to this is something that we've seen. And now they're trying to get it to the 80s style of a recession. And I don't even think that's even going to do it any justice. I think we're in the likes of the early 1900s kind of depression, not no recession. So yes, they're similar terminology words, but one is way worse than the other. We have time. We're going to see at the end of the day, we're in the opposite end of this, as I personally think. Again, everybody has their opinion. I personally think that we're on the opposite end of all that because we are over leveraged against. We are not, being just invested in like a blue chip stock or any of that stuff. We're over, like they're way overly shorted on this and overly leveraged, whether it's due to synthetics, FTDs, all that stuff. And again, I mentioned this many times before, but keep this in the back of your head. When market makers have not delivered over 65 billion worth of dollars that they've received, obviously the money for, but they did not deliver it, clearly became FTDs. You know that eventually somebody's going to have to come and say, okay, well, where does this go? If everybody stops and get off the movement, then all that doesn't even have to be dealt with. If everybody leaves the meme stocks and all that stuff and everything, because it's safe to say, like, to look at it again, this is hypothetical here, but it's safe to say that majority of it is for meme stocks, because we've been buying for over 2 years. We see the data. Most of it is being routed through dark pool on a daily basis. We see that obviously not many people are selling. Actually, every day there's more buying than selling, yet the price is going down. But forget the price for a second. Yet we're not evaluated correctly. So when you look at that fact of, there's 65 billion that are not submitted, you'll be like, okay, now I can put 1 and 2 together and like, okay, so dark pool, heavy rotations there, more than 50% of the volume for over a year and a half. The market maker owes that much and beyond, as far as we know so far, is even just what's reported. What could that possibly mean? Again, to me, it just narrows down to 1 or 2 things. That's it. And I've mentioned them. Let me read some of these, see if there's any questions in here. And Mrs. Tahiti is saying, AB, we need to focus on the post-MOAS. I know several people that got a couple million and they were all broke in 6 months. Guys, we should be setting things up now. We were working on a really great thing. I 100% agree, Mrs. Tahiti. A person without a plan is a person without a dollar. You can just, we just made a new saying. And we can talk about this. Like, you guys can go ahead and start, like, coming up with like topics. And as I see it, I'm going to cover it and talk about it and also mention some of my own things. I did mention on Discord a few times to some of the people what my post-MOAS plans are. Some of you guys in here know it. I wouldn't have obviously a problem of sharing it in here, like it's top secret. I don't want to push down, any narratives or talks on people that obviously, if they're not interested in that and they just want to hear, hey, are we going to MOAS tomorrow or not? Like, again, I'm not going to spread hopeism around, but yes, it is important. Because if you already have enough conviction, you've been here all this ride, you should be thinking about after, because if you have already enough conviction, that was just a matter of time of when, yeah, then it's very good to think about the future. Now let's look at our stock tracker and see somehow there's a million shares that popped up out of nowhere available now. That's available for shorting. The interest is still somewhere between 13% and 20%. Right now, it was 16.5%. Now, the crazier part for this week, remember when I said last week, June 16th and July 15th, June 16th and July 15th were the greed days that most likely market makers and those powers that be are really aiming for, in a very greedy way. Because here's what we got to look at. On June 17th, sorry, not the 16th, we got we got over 300 so far, over 300,000, over 350,000 calls that are on the line. And out of those, you got, as far as the report on Stockhouse Tracker that I see here, there's 366,000 calls that are out of the money as we speak right now. Okay, we're gonna go down with this, and we're gonna talk about where could we hurt them to get most of those contracts in the money. Puts, we have out of the money 81,000, but in the money we got 129,000 contracts in the money. So for me, I'm looking at this in a little bullish way, just off the rip, before even looking at the strikes on the options chain, before even looking at the options chain. I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, wow, so if they go this way, they're screwed on this, but if they go this way, they're screwed on that. They're more screwed on the call side, so that's one thing they're aiming for, but it's so tightly hedged between the strike prices that, as far as what it sounds like to me now, before even looking at the options chain, that something crazy would happen from now until then. That's just me looking at this right off the rip, and this is to show you as well, guys, that I don't really rehearse or look at anything before I go on live. It's just what I see, what I heard, and obviously as of late, it's been different times that I even pop in, and most of you know exactly my reasons of why, what I'm going through, and what is making it an inconvenience for me to pop up almost every moment. Okay, sorry. Let me see some. Let me see some of these beautiful people in here. Okay. Wow, you guys typed in a lot of comments in that little time frame. Okay, I got you. Okay. Fernandez. Charlie B, how did you do, my friend? How are you doing? Leah, I couldn't agree anymore with you with that statement. So Leah got a good CPA and attorney lined up so that the financial help can be there before obviously the wolves smell the blood or smell anything to come in and try to grab the money, because they know who's got what and who's going to have what, and they're going to try to go after that. One thing I so like laugh at is the theory that obviously between 12 to 15 years we get a recession, right? This is the standard that everybody has been thinking of for the longest time. It just became a standard. And where in reality, there like that's only the case because the system is set up fraudulently. Whether you like to agree with it or not, that's my opinion on it. But like, I'm very strong about that opinion. Um, King Griffin said in that Bloomberg interview that every economic cycle ends with a recession. Um, well, you're not a very smart person, Mr. Dipshit, for saying something like this, because it's not like, you're picking out something that is out of the blue, but that this system is fraudulent, and it gets a recession and we start all over again. But since we're starting over again in the bad basis, and it's all within those relending things, that's just the system that is built around us. This person makes money, or these entities above, or banks, in other words, they make money. They're not okay with just making enough money, because obviously a lot of lifestyles have to be maintained up to their standards, yachts and all in the background for so many individuals, and they have to take from the world in order to keep that alive, and maintain their wealth. How do they do that? Well, obviously, as you can see, they take stuff and to put it on steroids. Our system is set up with cancer from day one. It's born after every recession. We're already, it's like, think of it like a system or a body that has cancer and is just grown with it. And within 10 to 15 years, it spreads everywhere and the whole body dies. And it has to come back again. And it starts over again with the same basis. This guy lends to this guy, but makes a markup, makes some profit. And then the other guy needs to make their profit. So they take that, they honor that markup, but they add a little bit more on it, or who knows how much more they add on it, just to make their cut as well. And they relend it to someone else. And it keeps going that way from one. It's like a whole chain link. And as soon as that breaks at the bottom, it just castrates everything out from the top. So like when geniuses like King Griffin come out and say, oh, this, that is going to happen, it's going to end with this, and put a smirk on his face like he was the genius of the day or of the century. It just bugs me. So let's not continue on that. Dips Patel, how are you, my friend? Okay. Let's continue. One second. Let me open up on my phone the options chain real quick. I need to look at the option on AMC. Boom. Wow. So wow. Yeah, majority of these contracts that I'm looking at in here, because of the way that there's the volume that is structured on and the open interest on these strike prices, from my days of looking at this, wow, $20 strike price. There's literally over 37,000 calls on the $20 strike price. Wow. Yeah, they made sure that they prepared for this week, last week, and that's why last week's stream I said, look out for the greed on this Friday, and also for July 15th. When I say greed, as in the market makers, greed, trying to screw everybody out of these options. And as I'm looking here, wow, the 85, man, the $85 strike price has well over 45,000 calls. And when you look at that, obviously with a volume of just under 2,000, basically these tells me that these people most likely were hoping that AMC would have done its thing by then, by now, or by this Friday, and then possibly purchased these contracts a long time ago. Unfortunately, thinking that they got the system, but it's just the timing is not, AMC is not squeezing yet. So therefore, most of these don't look very, very good. I'll tell you this. In order for us to inflict some damage on these guys, and sorry, let me look at the puts real quick as well. Oh, this is interesting. So it seems to be, man, these MFers. So it seems that they got most of their pressure on the 12 and $12 range, 13 even way more, because I see the that open interest and the volume is obviously very low, which means most of these guys are holding on to these puts. They're expecting more red, possibly by tomorrow after the announcement. So that's a good thing to look at, right? And then their last ditch of hope is at the $16. So put it this way. A little bit on the 18, not much. Oh, wow, 20. So their last hope, as I see here, is around the $16 price. So I mean, obviously, again, with AMC, anything could happen. And even in this stock market, anything could happen. So if we were to break that $16 strike price, or if we would break $16, these people would be in deep shit. Let's just put it that way. They'll be in deep shit. If we were to break the $20 range, it's game over basically. So yeah, it's pretty forward, and you could tell like what's happening here. These guys obviously they don't want us to go past 12, but if we are to go past 12, then their next step is obviously to prevent it from going past 13 or 16 bucks, mainly 16. If we go past 16, they're literally like they're screwed for next week. Gamma ramp over $20. I personally think that is game over. Today is Tuesday. We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Bitcoin and crypto. Speaking of that as well, Bitcoin and crypto. I mentioned a while ago that their resistance was around $31,400. We've seen it go up to that range, dance around that, try to consolidate and go above it, but the resistance was overwhelming, and it didn't. Instead of it turning into support, it became a flip flop, and it became a more hardened resistance, and it dropped obviously. And we've seen the sell off. And I said back then also that the next after that drop off, the next level of support will be in the $20,000 range. And guess what? Yesterday we touched that $20,800. And then it bounced off, making it seem like that was the support. So far is consolidating since it's been just one trading business day. But again, as I'm looking here, it is failing to even hold that $23,000 support level as well. And it's looking like it's going to be doing it would have to at this point either do a major reversal out of nowhere, which I don't see any chances of it happening. But I can see it making a new 52-week low, and I see it dropping further. If it drops below the the 20,800, then wow. Then we're looking at our next level of support will be at 18,265. This is just my personal analysis, guys, on this. So many people could have different, indicators or stuff like that. I don't use majority of the time any indicators. I go with my final. I do have, I look at almost every chart. I look at every time frame. I look at the same chart with indicators. I apply my indicators and all that stuff, fibs and Elliott's waves and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I go with what I personally see, because over the years, as I did with Redbox and, for example, with Bitcoin, for another example, it's been sticking perfectly. So after that, after this $20,000 range, if we break down again from it, which is most likely the case that I'm seeing here, we're going down to the 18 to 17,800. If it doesn't hold that, look out, because we will be down to $11,500. The next support level after that, even. So only time will tell. You guys remember this stream. You guys remember these numbers, and we'll see what happens in due time. We will be able to see this whole thing tonight, because I believe that a lot of people know what is going to be aired out tomorrow. Again, this is that meeting. It's very hard for me to believe that they keep all that hush hush until the moment of announcement. Could be, but for me, I'm a very conspiracy-like mindset, especially what we've been going through with this market and what we're anticipating and what we are used to from these people. So therefore, I'm not. Yeah, when it tried to, tonight I feel like around 9:30ish, 10 o'clock, we're gonna see if Bitcoin and the crypto realm starts taking off in a violent way to try to regain. I mean, for me to feel safe about crypto that it's rebounding again, I need to see it hold. Well, one, break and hold. One second. I'll give you what I think. Yeah, I need to see it break and hold 29,000. 29,417, which from the looks of it, I don't see that happening. But again, that's what I mean by a violent move to the upside. If I need to see if there's going to be a rebounding. Sorry, phone call. So let's see how all that comes around or fares. All right. No, hold on one second. I need to see this. One more thing real quick. Okay. Sorry. I was looking at some levels on some things. Pabloco, Forex. Obviously, that's I'm all game for that Forex. Pabloco, not Forex. But here's the thing with Forex: it is way more risky than, even if you think crypto is risky or volatile. Forex is a different beast, even more risky than options. Now, money wise, it's extremely lucrative, but you have to get off on the right basis, and it's completely different than the stock market. I'm down for afterwards to look at it, but that also depends on what kind of currencies we're going to be dealing with. What are we going to be dealing with in the world, right? There's a lot of talk now that is saying that by 2030, 2031, we're going to have China being the overall greatest economy or biggest economy. And I've seen that graph worth trillions. Pablo, you posted it on the Discord. Thank you very much. I don't see that happening just from a political standpoint. I've never seen let's think of it like this. When you see, I would, and again, nothing, I'm not being a biased or racial profiling or any of this when I say this. The US, if we're in the jungle, the US is like the lion, okay? Even though we know that the true king of the jungle practically is a tiger, because that's where the jungle is. That's not where a lion is. But bear with me here. We know what we're talking about. Is lion is the king in that jungle, and the US is that lion. I have never seen a lion leave his pack or leave his throne willingly. Just like says, okay, you know what? You younger male adult, lions can take over this whole thing, and I'll just go on in my way, live out the best of my days, sailing into the sunset. And that has never been the case. I've never seen that. And politically, as animalistic and far away that is, politically, that's how things are. Whether you believe it or not, that's how things are. No dynasty or empire or powerhouse wants to leave or personally wants to let things go like that unless they are out. So how can this take us out? Well, this only takes you to one scenario, right? A head-on, face-to-face, or a head-on war between the two. And I understand the dollar and all this stuff, and people are saying China's economy and all this stuff. One thing that people are not factoring in are the politics and the way that it is. When someone needs something and you're powerful, politically speaking, they go and take it. That's why you see wars, because money is made in wars and the victor collects. It's been like that since the beginning of time. When people say China this, China that, China this, China that, and this is not me, shitting down on China or anything, but at the end of the day, I am an American. So what do you expect me to do? Come out and say, oh, China, yeah, I believe in you over. No, I don't care who's in my offices, who's in my government. These are my people here, and this is my land. So therefore, I do have a little bit of a more biased opinion, but realistically speaking, our dominance and our bases that are throughout the world, for some of you people who are not politically involved, think of it like this. We are the only country in the entire planet that has an army or a military base just about in every region or every country in the world. In fact, if it's not just on land, we cover over 90%, and you see this in commercials all the time. Over 90% of all waters. Can any other country say the exact same? No. They can come out and say, oh, Russian forces have been putting laser on American fighter jets and stuff like that, and China has been putting laser stuff on us, and they were spotted in these waters and all this stuff. But this is politics games. This is how wars can be started. And even if somebody doesn't want to fight, let's bring this example up, and this is a historical political lesson for everyone. At some point, when those two huge, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, You guys, if you don't know of this, I'm pretty sure most of you heard of that, obviously, or know of this. But those were the 2 nuclear bombs that were ever dropped on a country, and that was on Japan. Such a terrible time, or part of our history, right? But what many people don't know is right after the first one, that was less or smaller. I think the first one had plutonium in it, and the second one was called Big Boy, and that's the one that did way more damage. I think it had uranium or some other stuff. I forgot, like exactly what was in it. But after the first one landed, and after the first one took out, made a catastrophe that no man have ever seen something like this done before. That's when, at that time, the emperor of Japan contacted Stalin, which was the Tsar of Russia at the time, and said, "Hey, you guys, we had a truce between us." At that time, Japan was a dominant power in that region, and called them and said, "Hey, can you contact your allies, or we weren't allies, but we weren't enemies at the time, because our common enemy with the Russians was the Germans at the time. So can you call your American friends and tell them we are ready to give up. We're done. That's it. We're done. We don't want to see any more of this. We surrender." And believe it or not, and again, this is all, like history will say, is hypothetical, but you could go read the research on it and you'll see that it came to that point. Because afterwards, what validates this statement or this theory are the way that every Japanese citizen viewed the emperor at the time was more like a god. So they never heard, or they don't hear his voice. He don't speak. So the one and only time that the emperor came out and said, "We surrender," and that's it, and he spoke it into an intercom, many Japanese people actually took their own lives, because they took it as they shamed their god, which was the emperor. They made him very ashamed of himself, or they brought him shame because they couldn't win the war. Now, the crazy part in what all this goes is the timing of all that. When he got that announcement, that was directly right after that first bomb landing. And little did you know, the second one still came through, even though that they put their hands up and said, "We're done. We don't want anything." And what happened after that was more of, I think it was, I don't want to put it like this, but it's very clear almost the intent here. It was more of a test. And they had the reason and the people to have it, because the rest of the world, that America was in the war with Japan. So it doesn't matter at that time if they all came out on live TV and said, "We give up, we give up, we give up." The plan was to do something else, to test out something else, and it was carried out. 6 months afterwards, after the whole catastrophe, scientists were sent over to Japanese, and the Japanese were thinking that people were coming to alleviate all the chemical, damage to humans and people and all that. But little that they knew, which is another slap to the face, that all these scientists came to see the effects of, it was more like think of it like a guinea pigs that the Japanese have become. That's not what I think of them. This is just what the situation says. So these scientists didn't come to alleviate anybody's pains or try to heal people or take care of people. They came to take levels of radioactivity in people in the region and all that stuff, so that they could take that and document that and see what the effects of what they did and what it caused. So when we talk politics, guys, it's so far away. The reality is so far away from what is being spoken of on TV or on camera or in debates. I never, and I will never see a powerhouse. You just will never see a powerhouse leave their dominance or their throne unless they're taken out. And in this day, that in technology that we live in, and the things that we possess and other countries possess, like other superpowers, there's no taking out this guy unless you're taking out everyone. And you know what I mean by that. So therefore, this whole talk of the next 10 years or 8 years and China's going to overtake us and all that stuff, The only thing that's gonna, in my humble opinion, that's gonna overtake the US is Judgment Day. That's the only thing that will ever overtake this. And I'm not saying it like I'm laughing, like, oh, I'm happy, because I know how people can twist and spin off people's narratives and go ahead and talk about it like in the crap and shit all over it. No, I'm giving you like realistic truth, and I'm mirroring out to what how I see things, and I'm looking at things. If you're not into history, I just brought this out. If you don't want to believe it, that's perfect. We know what you could do. Go take that info and search it. Fact check me on that stuff. And once you learn that about history and political history, you will begin looking at matters in a completely different manner. You're not going to look at it as like oh, okay, yeah, they said this, that means they're going to do this, and they said this, that means they're going to do this. Everything in war is a trick, because at the end of the day, it's all about victory. How? Man, trust me, guys, when it comes to extension, there's nothing that's, oh no, that's too much, don't do that, don't. You guys know what I mean here. I'm trying to watch every word that I say as much as possible. I'm trying to be as unfiltered as possible also with you guys. But to those out there, to the millions, possibly billions out there that are thinking that, yeah, China over and Russia over, USA and all this stuff, please go back in time. You've been around for 20, 30 years, and most of them are the youngin'. And I know I'm 33, guys, but I put so many years worth of researching and watching and listening. And that was by default because I grew up in a political house. My father was a Supreme Court judge, so he had a lot of interest, a big library of these things. And I, as a kid, I got influenced by it. And I like that game of understanding what really happens on the big picture around me, and you can understand people's intentions through their actions, not just their words or their press meetings. And again, you just go do it and see. Mrs. Tahiti, AB, do you know anything about an RTA account? Unfortunately, I don't. No, Mrs. Tahiti, I don't. If anybody can enlighten me, or you can enlighten me, I'll be grateful. Okay, where did I get? Let's see. I'm far out. You guys were all like, we don't want to hear this political crap. Sorry to bore you guys, but it's important to know these things. I really did miss a lot. Okay, right here. I got myself. Puff puff fast, Martin. Oh, Kim A, you're not able to hear. Is anybody else hearing AB? Or was I breaking up or something? Maybe my stream got shorted since we got political. AB, is 47 your favorite cat brand? I like New Era, Mitchell and Ness. 47 myself. Yeah, I like all of them. I'm a cat fanatic, so I have many, 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 many more upstairs. But yeah, 47 is one of them. AB on my way home and do my puff puff too. You got it, Mrs. Chase. Um, Pixie in the woods. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you in here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the love and the likes, smashing. I mean, it's only fitting that with the hookah in the background, I had to pull out a hookah and smoke it for you guys. Telling you, man, the man cave I have down here, guys, is uh, beyond imagination. I mean, it's just amazing. You know what's funny is I don't know how to play this, but I have it. I guess I've been lazy in that department. But yeah, I can sing you guys what I sung to the people yesterday. And don't worry, it won't be long. It'll be just like 2 lines. Hey there, Delilah, how's it like in Baghdad city? Almost 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, you do. You like the accent? The only thing I want is you. Oh, yes, it's true. Horse, how you cook the meat? Horse, how you cook the meat? 1,000 miles seem far away, but girl, I want kebab today. And that was the one hit wonder. Down goes Frazier. uh, Bob Loco is asking, what do you think about Redbox? I think there's still some juice left, but don't know how low it will go before another run. I can look at that for you, Bob Loco, real quick. Again, just an opinion, not financial advice. Let's see. Where are you? Redbox. It says Redbox no longer exists. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So in the after hours, it's taken another beating, down another 6.5% so far. Uh, One thing I can see here, Pabloco, is that I actually believe you on this one. There is possibly still some juice, but I also do see 3 huge red candles. So I see it going down a little bit more to possibly like its support is exactly the same place that I said that it's going to take off from, which was 850 and 850 $8.50. So right now we're at 942. If we break that, I mean down to downside is anticipate 850, which is still a huge drop by the way from this price down to 850. That's a whole dollar. Um, I would assume roughly an estimate that's about another 30 something percent that it would have to fall, or no, anywhere between 15 to 25, yeah, 15 to 25% that it falls in order for it to hit that support. And if that is broken to downside, then that turns from support back to the old times, which was resistance. It was very strong resistance. And then at that point, you could easily anticipate that it might, even drop lower, and the whole thing could be taking a long bag holding position, and you wait, for a long time. I mean, obviously they made it possible with AMC and GME. Yes, it's been scrutinized with much more, but that's where we at. You don't want to end up, for people, again, it's all up to you guys, but you don't want to end up being in that position for a long time, especially if you don't have enough conviction for the play. If you're walking in to just make some money on Redbox, you're literally scalping and making money. So your conviction is not 100% as far as a long hold. So if it turns into a long hold for you, most people tend to cut their losses and take the loss. And that's what position that I don't want any of you guys to be in. So yeah, it's tough to look at this point. If it consolidates here, and again, if it does not break down the 850, in my humble opinion, again, that's just an opinion, then I see it to possibly still being relevant. But that's as low as I could see. So hopefully that could give you anything, Pabloco. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap things up. I don't want it to be much longer. An hour is good today out of your time, guys, because tomorrow we have a lot to cover with that Fed meeting and the announcement. Uh, there's open waters that don't fall under any country's jurisdiction. One moment, guys. Just a single moment. I'll be right back. All right. All right. Sorry for that, guys. I'm back. Uh-oh. The coiler is in the house. How are you, Stacia? You made it to this one, right? Boating under the influence. All right. Let's see. KL, how are you, my friend? And B Ghost. Nice to see you guys in here. Brendan and Ella's Fun Adventures. How are you, my friend? Always beautiful to see all of you loved ones in here. Who's better not cook pork? Don't worry, Jeffrey. I don't know what it tastes like. Actually, no, I ate when I was a kid, I ate a pepperoni pizza, you know, and I was like, what the hell? Should have not done that just to see what it was about. Jeffrey is loaded as puts on Red Fox. The last hit wonder. Yeah, so you guys, you notice the accent and the fun, what it's really about. Okay, I found myself. It's like it scrolled down on me. Yeah, tell dog. I eat the turkey pepperoni pizza. Delicious. Yeah, I don't eat pork tail dog at all. All right. So I see that no one in here has any questions in general to be dealt with. Um, Bitcoin here is fighting. It tried to do again another scoop right there. But what we can see here is it obviously failed to do just on the daily chart is failing to do a new high again. Um, so if you look at it in, well, yeah, it's choppy. Yeah, it's gonna break down. I just don't see another case. Ah, well, Christy, yes, I definitely was and still am and always will. So I have much love for you and all of you other guys. So please, 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 if you do have the time, and again, if not being intrusive or over asking or overstepping my boundaries, please, guys, this is your home, so step in whenever you want. Specifically, Christy, and the rest. So the table is lit. That's a term from these days. The table is lit with you guys on it. So best of luck with your work around the house, and I look forward to see you soon in the next, hopefully, stream or video. However, I look forward to seeing you guys at some point after the MOS, as we all agreed before or said we were going to do before. Arthur? That's a very good question, and it's very sophisticated and tough to answer. Uh, yeah, I still, that's the question I can't answer. Where do babies come from? Pixie in the woods? Hello to the wolves. Yeah, there we go. I can hear the howl. Adrian. And always will, Pixie Wood in the woods. Always will. If asteroids are above the hemisphere and hemorrhoids are on our ass, on your ass, uh, shouldn't they change the name so hemorrhoids are asteroids and asteroids are hemorrhoids? Very good. Another very good question, Arthur. 10D Lion, how are you? And Miss Gloria, yes, Christy, you should, all you guys should come join the Discord. We have a Discord now, right? Which is funny, and sometimes we get to speak, um, you know, on calls. Miss Gloria and I had the pleasure of speaking with Miss Gloria the other day, and it was just more of like me, Miss Gloria. It was Tiny Investor as well, and a few other people. It's fun. It's fun. And guys, again, it's free. Um, it's just to, in case there's video, there's no live or video at some point, and people have questions. and they want to interact with not necessarily just me, but with other beautiful apes. Well, hold on, ugly ape, but the other beautiful apes. Um, and you know, at that point, it's like right within your grasp. You could put something. You could start a conference call, or you could start a call, and then, you know, obviously everybody can pop in. Whoever has time can pop in, and we could get to it much sooner than the next live, right? Uh, so, Tendy Lion, how are you, my friend? Thanks, Pablo. I appreciate the share. Thanks for sharing the link. All right. And who do we have in here? El Has. Um, uh, that's El Has. You asked this question twice. Uh, and honestly, it's like it's a good question for you to answer at this point. When did you get in? If you don't mind me asking, when did you get into this play? I just find it very odd, you know, when we get this question out of nowhere like this. And again, not pointing or putting you on the spot here or anything, but, you know, it seems like it's a very serious question for you. Is the squeeze happening or still on? Um, what's your conviction? Are you in this play because of what people are saying, or what are you in this play for? Okay, that's cool. Um, so yes, I again, not to answer your question with a question. I personally hate when people do this, but this one is this one takes an exemption because May of 2021 you got in, brother, and you know, um, you're still on the board. I guess I'm assuming here as well. So if you're still on board, it's been over a year. Hmm, yep, there you go. That's all. There you go. So I get the point. You maybe the question was, and I misunderstood it, was that hey, anything new happened that could derail the squeeze or not, and you just want to stay updated. Hey, welcome, brother. I just wanted to know the intentions because, you know, I'm not calling you a shill, but there's, you know, some of those, they come in and they say stuff like that, and then when you try to answer a question, they get to their real intent. I know your real intent. You're cool, brother. Yeah, nothing. It's more bullish than bearish without looking at this price right now. I will just say that the sentiment around the meme stocks in general is way more bullish than bearish because it looks red, but trust me, when things go in motion, if they go in motion the way that I see it in my head, and maybe most of you guys also see it, then it's going to be a lot of red on one side and a lot of green on one side, overly green on one side. So I'm going to wrap it up, my friends. Thank you, Pixie in the Wood. You are the awesomest. um, so yes, and Christy, please consider coming in. And we are in Pam's too. Pam's Discord is where all the magic happens. So yes, I'll catch most of you guys either there, or in the think tank, or in AB Investments Discord. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and try to, you know, what should I do? Get some dinner, shoot the ball outside for a little bit, and, you know, go back in and try to rest a little bit because these past couple days have been very stressful. Um, Once again, guys, if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them right now. I'll go ahead and give it out about a minute for you to post anything if there's any question that anybody has. And again, no question is too big or too small. All we could do is ask, and what's the worst that could happen? We get an answer. We don't. move on. Wow. You know, I just wanted to also address one more thing, guys, and say this. When I said yesterday that I appreciated everybody's support for what was happening yesterday, and as what I said, for the individual, the particular individual that couldn't understand that, or I guess they have a burning sensation inside of them that is, you know, me, screw what you're going through or what you're going, what's happening with you. Um, the mods, I'm going to talk to you guys about this individual so that we can tame that individual, because I think that they're also in the Discord. Uh, but it's such an annoying feeling or thing to, you know, for people or for someone obviously to keep popping up with these weird things and their own, and it's the play related, you know, to the play, but they come up with all these weird thoughts and these weird solutions that they think is a solution for the plays and whatever, but and they feel like they're the only ones that are seeing what's happening. In reality, it's very small or it's nothing. Those people, like, you can't even address it. You can't even address it because I don't like to break anybody or hurt anybody's feelings. But you know, the fact that, you know, you're going through many things and you have your life. I have two businesses, guys, like small businesses. It's not like I'm trying to say that it's big shit or whatnot, but I also have to take care of all that. That's why I have an inconsistent time on when I pop up on the stream. And now I'm adding hospital visits to it as well. I'm literally way out of time, but I come here mostly because it's a win-win situation for me even. One is therapeutic. When I see you guys, when I come to you guys, you have no idea how I can unwind what I've been through throughout the day and come here and share my thoughts and bring them out to you guys as well. Uh, yes, Jeffrey. Yep. Um, and for you, like for me, I kid you guys not. Yesterday, even when I was literally like so drained out because they, you know, took so much freaking blood from me yesterday to do tests and everything, I still sent a whole paragraph to this individual telling them or explaining to them my situation and what I'm going through. And I would love to be a part to help them get things across if they need me, but I can't be the one pushing the vehicle on that because I just don't have the power and the time for that. And apparently that made, apparently, for one, I get no response or nothing, and I basically get completely ignored and being pissed off at. So, not that I'm losing any sleep. Don't get me wrong, guys, on it at night. But it's just it's so annoying to know that there are people within your community that you look at them as and you consider them like family. As I always say, when I say the word family, guys, I don't know how other people mean it or anything. To me, is divine. I just come from a household like that. I was brought up this way. When I call you brother or sister or family, just know that I have a whole, like, it's not just a word that I'm throwing out there. Otherwise, I could just call you friend or anything else. No, I pay attention to everything that comes out of my mouth so that I can measure up to it when it comes back to me. So like if, and that's what it is. Words are like knives. If not used properly, they could hurt others much worse than the actual physical knife stabbing someone. Like, you'd be surprised, guys. And it's just so crazy that, you know, people are so inconsiderate of everyone else, but only care about whatever their narrative is. At the end of the day, we're in this to get filthy freaking rich, like Boss said, um, and many others said. And I'm very grateful, as I also said before, that the true wealth in this whole thing was the journey, not the prize that is coming at the end. Pretty sure everybody's excited about the prize at the end when it comes. It's always welcome to come at any time. It could come now, and I'll be very happy for it. If it doesn't, I'm waiting, and I will be there when it comes. Same as I hope for you guys, for all the family in here, because it's different than, you know, all the family with crazy capital and crazy influence, nothing holding them back. They can live their life to their fullest, or whatever their goals are, and approach them. I mean, it's just a beautiful thought and beautiful vision to think of. Um, some of you guys, I literally, like, you know this too. Like, we speak every day. And literally, you guys are a part of my life. The way I view it, you guys are a part of my life now for the long haul. Doesn't matter what the outcome is. Hopefully, it's the same for you guys. So please, 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 for everyone else, just be very considerate of others' situations, especially if they even let you in. Nobody has to explain nothing to nobody. But at the end of the day, when somebody explains to you, that means they're giving you the respect. You should value that. There's only one true wolf pack, Jeffrey, and it's the wolves that are in here. It's not the pack that makes the wolves, it's the wolves that make the pack. Right? AB, chillax. All right, you got it, Mr. 80. That's it, chillaxing. What is this? Diaz is in the house, and Stacia, are you coiling? Are you playing with Diaz? I wonder what he said. Yeah, I never seen Diaz get the coil treatment. G Chronicles, how are you, my friend? It's been a minute. Nice to see you in here. Something tells me that you're not really too worried about the trouble. AB, are you sure you don't have some laced tobacco in that hookah? What do you mean, laced with what? I'm pretty sure there's nothing laced except the double apple flavor. That's it. Alrighty, my dear family and friends in here. Appreciate all of you guys for your time. I don't want to take more of your precious and sweet time, guys. I will see some of you guys or speak to some of you guys later on tonight. We have a big, 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 big day tomorrow. Anything north of 75 base points is a catastrophe for them. And I personally think it's great for us. I would love for everyone to not view this play in the sense of, or with the lenses of, oh, tomorrow's announcement means tomorrow we're gonna moon, we're gonna go to that. It's possible, right? But don't approach it thinking like this every time, because not every day is a holiday, right? You have to see the effect of whatever gets announced on people. So it will take some time. But let's just see what they announce tomorrow, and we react from there. Take it one step at a time. No one is calling out dates in here or saying that this is going to happen by then. Take me with Coil. Diaz is back. Let's see. Oh, JP is in the house. How are you, my friend? Much love to you, brother. Much love. Ilhas, there is, if you scroll up, you're going to see Pabloco's post. Pabloco posted a link in the chat with the Discord link. You'll see it if you just scroll up. You'll see a Pabloco with a very beautiful wrench in blue next to him. And he's got a Discord link right there. You can definitely join it through there. Much love to you as well. I know that the feeling you're burnt out with time and everything like that. It's I don't want to say, okay, here's the best way I can put it. There's two ways to think of this. If you've covered this in the past, as in, I'm making a decision here, I'm going to make this investment, I'm going to live or ride or die with it till the end. If you make that, your choice would be much easier today or anything. Now that obviously you're getting the sensation of being burned, you have two other situations. One, are you willing to take a loss, or are you willing to wait and see this thing through? That's where you at, because that's why I asked, how's your conviction on this play when you got in? Did you get in because of the hype, or did you get in because you also, okay, you heard the hype, but you went and did your due diligence on your own, and you know what, it made some sense to you, and you were able to connect the dots, and you said, you know what, that's it, I'm gonna go with this. If that's what happened, then you're in the same boat as everybody else, brother. September 2020. This is how long it's been in there for me. Never sold a share. I've only been accumulating. I've said many times of what my mission was from the get-go, because hey, I knew that this was us battling the most influential and powerful and greedy figures on the planet. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And that's what we know of. I've also mentioned before, don't be surprised when this thing comes through or comes to fruition. Don't be surprised when you see major figures get exposed, like that they were probably behind this, like celebrities or the world's wealthiest people. I wouldn't be surprised as if I see Bill Gates when it's all said and done, or Bezos, or anyone. Turns out to be that they are on the other end of the opposite end of us, and we're going against these people. Obviously, they can pull many strings, and everyone can see it. Everyone in the government, retail, everybody in the world can see this BS, and they can smell the stench. So just without obviously giving any financial advice or anything, you would have to ask yourself this question now seriously and say, hey, are you willing, if this takes 5 more years, are you willing to hold or not? If the answer to that is yes, then you wouldn't have any problems. Yeah, you would definitely still be in this headache, because you got some of your, if not a lot more, I don't know what each one put in their AMC holdings or GME or their investment, but I know you leverage because you got something in there, but you're not the only one. Everyone has. And that's what's going to make it sweet at the end, is that it's a whole community, a whole movement, millions of people that got this across the finish line. I said this, remember when the whole Ray Dalio news came, and like, oh my God, the radio is in the play and all this stuff. I back then on that same day I told you this is a nothing burger. Don't buy too much into this crap because these people like that, they could do a mudrick of what they did on us back in 2021 before the June run up. It was back in March, if my memory is not failing me. And what they did was they bought in $2 later, they sold out and dropped in an article saying that this is not worth this price. This stock is worth $1 or $2 or whatnot. They pulled this shady shit on us. I wouldn't say that Ray Dalio is going to be any different from that. And I'm not going to say he is going to be that. I just said don't bite into that, because ever since he joined, what have we seen? Have you seen any difference here? Is anything changed? Has anything changed in this? Nothing. In fact, we went down a little bit more. So we are, as I always say this, it is us that is going to will this and has been willing this across the finish line. When it gets across the finish line, that's when we celebrate as a community, believe it or not, because this is millions of people. This is a movement. History will remember that. Of course, if whether history will remember it, whether it's a failed attempt or a job well done, it's going to be remembered throughout history. So we'll see. We'll see. Stay strong, my friend. Let's see. Okay. Wow. I love what I'm hearing here. I'm going soldier through it. Hey, may the Lord give you all the power needed to do so, brother. Oh, that's all we could do. Diaz, you guys are the people to thank, not me. Peace out, Adrian. I'm going out soon. JP, you know it. Just another day in paradise and in the beautiful life that we live in. You got it, Elhas. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Diaz. Much love to you, brother. Jeffrey, I'll see you guys around the YouTube community. Much love to you, Jeffrey, as well. Thank you. You're one of those people I truly call a brother, and definitely is going to be a part of my life, you know, until we see where it takes us. I don't quiet and I don't lose. Yeah, Mrs. Tahiti. Alrighty, family. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll speak to you guys also tomorrow around that statement or around that. Hopefully, I can air around that announcement. Maybe I can stream that. I'm pretty sure many people will. So we'll see what will be happening. And yes, we are David against the Goliath. But the only thing that I would also add to that, Mrs. Tahiti, is that we are hitting Goliath. Like once with all the millions on the same punch, on the same strike, we're going to inflict a lot of damage. And that's what we're hoping for the Moads. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you all for stopping by and showing some love. Like I said, I'll catch up with you all guys tomorrow. With that being said, much love, AV Investments.